It's been a long time, very, very busy, guys, really. Yes. Though I'm busy, I still continue my regular, health exercise, something like that, to maintain my health data and health parameters to improve my health immune system as usual. Since I told you a long, long time ago. So I'm very, very thankful to God that I'm reaching this age without taking any medicines except for paracetamols. Really, I'm very, very thankful to God. I've reached this age without any admittance to the hospital. I'm very, very happy. Thank you, Lord. And then I don't even take even a single vitamins or multivitamins in my entire life. And I'm very, very happy. Yes, okay. So through discipline also. Okay, so I managed to survive. Okay. Going back to the topic, I really love to talk about chemistry with regards to the basic concepts and foundations of really the matter. But before we will go further, so let's go first to define what is an element first. Okay? So because our next topic will be dealing more on the elements. Okay? Because we'll be talking on the reduction. Okay? Meaning the gain of electrons, the loss of electrons. Take note mga palangga, oxidation state and oxidation number is very, very important to that. And we should know also the behavior, the charge of an elements or compounds or a polyatomic and ion, something like that. Okay? You get the point mga palangga? Okay. So in this discussion, very brief lang siya. So we need to, if we are taking, for example, mga palangga, you are first year college, taking a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, BS Chem or BS Chemical Engineering. So take time to memorize the basic and common elements, atomic weights and atomic mass. Really. So when I was in college, I memorized at least minimum of 30 so that I will never refer to the periodic table anymore. Really. Okay. So now I memorize only few. Not 30. My gosh. At least I can still remember a few, right? Okay. So we need to illustrate to you the basic atomic weights and atomic mass. By the way, atomic mass and atomic weight is just the same, guys. Okay, then if we band together, if we combine together the atomic weights and atomic mass, that will comprise your molar mass, molecular mass, or molecular weight. You get the point? Meaning compound already. Okay, meaning atomic with atomic mass is element, single element, solo flight substance. Okay, pure substance. Okay, now, okay. So by the way, element is belong to the classification of matter mga palangga. Okay, classification of matter. Okay, classification of matter, pure substance. And mixture. Okay, mixture. Okay. So like that. So pure substance under here is our elements. Okay, elements. Okay. Elements and compounds. Okay. So here in my discussion I will be focusing on elements. Okay? Like that. We will not focus on the compounds yet. Okay? You get the point. So I will introduce to you the basic atomic weights and atomic mass. Okay, so that you'll never bring anymore your periodic table during your exam. Or shall we say, there's no examination that is open data or Google search. You should memorize at least the basic and the common elements. Okay, you get the point. I don't think so in this millennial era. If the teachers and instructors allow them to bring the cell phone during examination, then the students will Google search. I don't think so, because if that is the case, they will be dependent to the information in the Google search, and they will never sharpen their brain cells, if that is the case. Okay? Dependent man. Okay? So if you are independent, then it can sharpen your mental ability. Okay? Something like that. So, for example, guys, magsugod ta sa CHO, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen meaning organic. So organic viewers, we need to say no artificial, no fake. All are really with sincerity, coming from the heart, like that. There's no additional props to just say that we are crowded, for example, in a campaign run or whatever. Okay, so that's organic, meaning all are really visible people attended a campaign rally, something like that. Okay, that is only for the election point of view. Okay, but if we're trying to connect that to chemistry point of view, organic means CHO. Okay, like that. Or if you try to connect that with food, that is mostly coming from plants. Plants like that, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, or the fruits, vegetables, that's mainly organic. Okay, so CHO, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Guys, this is the first step to memorize. Atomic weight of carbon is 12 grams per atom. Hydrogen is 1.008 grams per atom. Oxygen is 16 grams per atom. Okay, this is the most common so that you can determine the molecular weight. And then if you have the molecular weight, then it's easy for you to sometimes to compute for the heat or the calorie burn during exercise, because it has to do something also with the constituents of your compounds involved, the macromolecules present in your body. Could it be protein, nucleic acid, something like that. Ito po yung mga palangga. Okay, if you remember the functional formula of protein, we have the alkyl group, we have the amino group, we have the carbonyl group. Then compute individually by using this CHO, then bingo, you can have the molecular weight, and then you can adjust that. For example, using the calorimeter, you can determine the calorie. Right? Even though without the calorimeter, by just manual computation, if you have the molecular weight, you have your mass as a person, then you can compute for the heat. Okay, then the problem is the specific heat capacity. Di ba, nakakaloka? Na magbibilang pa sa specific heat capacity, ganon, molar heat capacity. There's more to learn so that we can understand really the broad scope of BS chemical engineering and BS chemistry. Okay, partly related, but BS chemical engineering more on the larger scale. Okay, not limited to the laboratory. Meaning to say in the larger scale, in the process, the designing, something like that. So more on, more on parameters, solving complex problems with regards to the processes. Okay, could it be mainly chemical processes, or it could be physical processes also, because unit operations, unit equipment to equipment, like that. Okay, that's why unit operations, through the use of several equipments in separation of different phases, from liquid to gas to liquid. So that we mean by unit. Okay, the mean of unit, that is really an equipment to produce the processes like that, to involve in the physical changes, separation. Okay, like liquid, extraction, distillation, absorption, like that, evaporation, heat transfer, mass transfer, absorption, sedimentation, centrifugation, flotation, flocculation, leaching, screening, like that, and everything. Okay? And name it under unit operations. But this is just not unit. This is very basic, right? Okay, so we have, air. Air. Composition of air, mga palangga, is nitrogen gas plus oxygen gas. Okay. Nitrogen gas, 79% by volume. 79% by volume. Okay, like that. And then oxygen is 21% by volume. Okay, like that. So by volume meaning this is percentage by volume, of course, or volume percent. Okay, so we'll be using the percentage by volume, right? Volume of solution times 100. Okay, and then your solution will be the air. Now, what is your molecular weight or molar mass of an air that comprises of nitrogen and oxygen? So here we're dealing with ideality. We don't consider the contamination gases in the atmosphere that we have now. Okay, there's a lot. Okay, nitrous oxide, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So these gases steal the oxygen molecule from this air. But that is not a reality now if you try to see really what's happening in our atmosphere now. Because we have industrial, what do you call this one? Pollution. Industrial pollution because of the exhaust gases releases in the atmosphere, the vehicles, the power plants, the oil and gas factories, the exhaust burners, like that, okay, furnaces or whatever, okay, like that. So we have 29 grams per gram mole. So una kayo, memorize ko ng gram mole. So actually the gram mole is just the mole. 1 gram mole is just equal to 1 mole. Okay. So that's why 29 gram mole or 29 gram mole. Okay? Meaning gram dash mole. Okay. But to avoid complication, just terminate the gram. Just gram per mole. Okay? So 29 gram per mole is the molecular weight of the air and the density is about 1.29. Correct me if I'm wrong, ha? Mga palangga, 1.10 grams per gram mole. Or you have to derive this by using the formula. Okay? Using formula at standard temperature and pressure. Okay, standard temperature is 298 Kelvin, pressure is 1 atmosphere. Then substitute that to the ideal gas equation, then you can compute for the density out of that. Okay, but never mind, that's not our topic today. We are only touching. Okay, so the atomic mass of nitrogen, okay, like that. Okay, the atomic mass of nitrogen is 14 mga palangga grams per atom. Okay, like that. And then we have the chons. Chons. Oh, chons. Marami siya ang mga protein chuba-chuchu. We have the carbon atom, hydrogen atom, oxygen atom, nitrogen atom, okay, and sulfur atom. Okay? Carbohydrates are the CHO. Okay? Like the empirical formula of carbohydrates is CH2O. Okay? General formula of carbohydrates C6H12O6. So you should be particular for the, for the formula, chemical formula. Then as early as you can, mga palangga, memorize everything. Okay? And not everything, but the most common. So that you can understand when you go second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. So you have now the, the weapon to understand very well the topics. Okay? Like that. So, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. What is atomic weight, atomic mass of sulfur, mga palangga? Atomic mass of sulfur, so that is, I think that is 32 grams per atom. Okay. As you can notice, these are all coming back every time in the problems. Then, oh yes, I memorize this. And then you will be happy because you memorize all atomic mass of the common metals and metals like that. Oh, say special. It's very enjoyable, right? Okay. If you take it enjoyable, then you will reap good harvest at the end of the day. Okay, something like that. So we have, so ano po sa halide family, the group 7A in the periodic table. So ito naman sa mga uan, fluorine. Fluorine, mga palangga, 19 gram atom. Okay, chlorine, 35.45 gram atom. Ganon. Bromine, okay, ang bromine 79, okay, 79.97, okay, something like that. The gram atom, okay, like that. You got the palangga, and we have also the silicon. Silicon is not halide, but I just include, okay, 28.28, like that, okay. And then we have also the phosphorus, 30.08. Okay, muna siya ang phosphorus. Okay? 30, basta 30 siya something, yun lang matter siya guys. Okay? May ana. Okay, to the point. So, fluorine, 19 grams per atom, chlorine, 35.45, bromine, 79.37, nakakaloka. And then, silicon, 28.28. Actually, silicon guys is transition metal. Transition. Okay? What do you mean by transition? Could either have multiple charge, start with positive 1, positive 2, like that is transition. Okay? Phosphorus 30.08, blah, 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 so and so. Now we have also the other one in the alkali, di ba? no, it's alkaline metals, group 1A. Di ba ito mga sodium, mga gano'n, chucho. Okay? Sodium is 23 gram atom. Nakakaloka. Potassium is 39.1 gram atom. Ganon. So, alkaline earth, group 2A. Mga common lang siya kung those very, very common, I'll pick up so that we can really solve properly. So, in future, we will never look at the periodic table, we will never Google search, we will never go to the, index. It will take also time. Okay? Like that. And then we have also the calcium. Okay, the calcium will be 40.082 bachuchu. And then we have the potassium, the sodium, the magnesium. Magnesium is 24.28. Ganon. Okay? Ganun ang magnesium mga palangga. Okay. Now, ito sa abang mga transition metals. Erase. Oh, diba? Ganon. Okay. I introduced this because we will use this later. Okay? Okay. And then we have the copper. What is the atomic weight of copper? This is very useful in the, electrolysis. The process of using water to produce electricity by adding chemicals. That's electrolysis. Okay, like that. Okay, meaning hydrolysis plus electricity. Okay, because we know the definition of hydrolysis already, the salt and the water, right? And then the salt will be added in your anode, in your cathode terminals, something like that, and it can produce electricity due to the chemical reaction in the galvanic cell, or could it be a voltaic cell, something like that. Okay, so electrolysis. I think this is under electrochemistry. Okay, like that's a copper is gonna be 63.55, right? Okay, a gram atom. Okay, mga palangga. And then zinc is 65.38 grams atom. Okay, mga palangga. O diba? Okay. Cobalt, 53.93 grams per atom. Ganon. Okay. That's the cobalt mga palangga. And then we have the iron, 55.85. Ganon. Okay, nickel is 58.69. Okay, manganese 54.94. Okay, just take note this mga palangga ha. Okay, chromium is 52. Okay, get the point. So it's common siya mga palangga. Common connection, for example, iron, the process of corrosion, like that. Nickel, this is applied in semiconductors, metallurgical industry, like that. Chupa-chuchu. Okay, cobalt is, of course, its application is for the coal. Coal, COEL, the raw material to generate power supply. Coal. Meaning to say, non-renewable source of energy, because it will be consumed throughout a year, throughout the months. So that's not a good source of energy, because renewable source of energy is very good. Okay, so that's gonna be cobalt. Ganon. Okay, anything the zinc? So we have the zinc. Okay. Okay, silicon, okay. Silicon is very important also because it is the main element component of a soil or a sand is a silicon. And then the main compound in a sand or in the earth's crust is the silicon dioxide or the silica is SiO2. So if the question in the board examination will say, what is the largest compound found in the land? Your answer will be SiO2. Okay, what is the largest element or the major element found in Earth's crust? That is silicon, Si. Okay? Sun mainly composed of silicon, Si. Okay? You get the point, so that's gonna be like that. Okay? So I remember that up to now because it came out in the board examination in our time. Okay? Like that. So we should be also smart enough to determine those like that. Okay, and then the most abundant compound in the planet Earth is the cellulose. Get the point? The most abundant compound in the Earth is the cellulose, and the most abundant element in the planet Earth, single, oxygen. You get the point? And the heaviest element is uranium. Heaviest element is uranium, and the lightest element is the hydrogen. Okay? The second most lightest element in the universe is helium. Something like that, with atomic number of 2 and mass number of 4. Okay, something like this. Okay, you have to determine. Also, the scientists who discover hydrogen, Henry Cavendish, oxygen, Jones Percy, mga ganun siya. Okay, now we need, if we try to really understand what is the chemistry all about, the basic foundation, then we need to go back from zero. First, we need to understand that the father of modern chemistry is Anton Lavoisier. Okay, he is the father of modern chemistry. So, the Mr. Lavoisier discovered the law of conservation of matter. Okay, law of conservation of matter. Law of conservation of matter. Because chemistry is all about matter and the changes it undergoes. Whether it's physical change or chemical change, the definition of chemistry. Whereas the definition of physics is a branch of science that goes with the study of matter and energy, not necessarily changes. Energy na, talaga siya, sa physics. Okay, mga motions, velocity, water virtue, acceleration. Okay, and then the law of conservation of, conservation of energy. Ba't kayo mag-agi eh? Yung palangga. Okay. So, law of conservation of energy. So, conservation of energy. Now, if you are studying right now, and then you have a subject, general chemistry lectures, then you go to the home, and then you will apply in your day-to-day life, in the kitchen. Then if you wash your hands with water, oh my gosh, I received 2 moles, like that, 1 mole of water molecule, 2 atoms of hydrogen, and 1 atom of oxygen, like that. So that you can easily understand what is really this compound all about. You will practice in your real life scenarios. Like sugar, or you will make a coffee. Oh my gosh, the sugar will dissolve when I stir this one. Like that. If I will never stir, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to dissolve. Something like that. Okay? You get the point. Because sugar is not an electrolyte. It will not dissociate immediately compared to the sodium chloride. So you have to stir too much, applying external energy. Okay? Something like that. Get the point. So ganun siya ang technique. Law of conservation of energy is discovered by Anton Lavoisier. Okay? Anton Lavoisier. We have also the law of multiple proportion. Ganon. Okay. Multiple proportion. So that we can understand really the compound, the mixture, heterogeneous mixture, homogeneous mixture. It's in the law of multiple proportion. Tignan mga pala, this is also discovered by Mr. John Dalton. Okay, actually guys, John Dalton have 3 contributions. First, the John Dalton atomic theory. Second, the Dalton's law of partial pressures. And the third is the law of multiple proportion. What is this all about? The ratios of the second element with a fixed mass of the first element is equal to the ratio of the whole number. Muna na siya katong, molecular formula, empirical formula, like this, okay? Like this. Muna ang law of the proportion, John Dalton. Okay, like this. And then the law of definite proportion. Okay, like this. The law of definite proportion, what is this? Okay, this is discovered by Mr. Jules Louis Proust in 1747. Nakakaloka. Pati mga ganun, memorize sa taga. In 1794, 1794. 17th century, mga palangga, nakakaloka. Okay, si Jules Louis Proust. Ganon. Okay, aligay kayo siya guys, si Jules Louis Proust. may supak pero kunya na. Okay, si Jules Louis Prost, he discovered that the natural copper carbonate decomposition. Copper carbonate, there's a formula mga kalaga. Copper carbonate, CO3, blah blah blah, so and so. This one, right? It will decompose to cuprous, copper, and carbon atom and oxygen. Okay. It says, guys, that a compound should always consist of similar proportions of elements by mass. Okay? Similar proportions talaga. But Mr. Berzelius, attack his theory that it's wrong because there are a lot of contamination somewhere along the way. And then there's also another scientist, I forgot the name because I only read and it's only registered in the brain cells. It's gonna like that. And then he said that the contamination is just only a small fraction, negligible and irrelevant. So that's why we still use the basis of Joule's lowest force until now, the law of definite proportion. Okay? Even though there's a little bit of contamination. For example, copper carbonate, there's a contamination of copper in the air, pollutants like that, in the soil, but that is too small to consider, point something like that, so it doesn't matter. Something like negligible and irrelevant like that. Okay, hindi pa point. So, the law of conservation of energy, law of multiple proportion, and law of definite proportion. And this law of conservation of energy also will be breakdown into the law of conservation of mass. Okay, law of conservation of mass. This is matter, actually. And this is law of conservation of mass and energy here. So law of conservation of matter, kinako ka ng matter, pasok sa brain cells, matter is more bigger than an energy and then the mass. So we need to say law of conservation of matter composed of law of conservation of energy and law of conservation of the mass. Now, law of conservation of matter, okay, it's very clear that it is stated there that matter can neither be created nor can be destroyed by ordinary chemical means. Okay. So just analyze the word for word and we can understand what it means. I don't have to spoon feed you guys. Understand this sentence. Okay? And then we have the law of conservation of energy. This is the first law of thermodynamics. Okay? Imagine, the thermodynamics is also explained in preparatory in chemistry already. But, disclaimer sabi siya ha. But some instructors will never discuss this. Okay, you will discuss this only when you reach thermodynamics, but actually this should be introduced na talaga siya. General chemistry lecture pa lang. Okay, so the law of conservation of energy is the first law of thermodynamics. Meaning to say, okay, energy can neither be created nor can be destroyed, but it can transform to various forms of energies. Okay. Now, law of conservation of mass, what it means. This is very confusing mga palangga because we refer the mass. Okay? And then the definition is not talking about the mass. The law of conservation of mass stating that, okay, in a steady state chemical reaction, okay, the total number of atoms of the reactant must always equal to the total number of atoms in the product. That's the purpose why we need to balance the chemical reaction. Because that is the purpose of law of conservation of mass. Okay, because that's the purpose. We will just not balance sa kusuro nato, but we have the purpose because of the law of conservation of mass. We need to do that. Okay? You get the point. Or else we cannot compute the amounts necessary to yield to our chemical reaction what are being asked. I want to yield 43 grams of copper out of 100 grams of copper nitrate. So you cannot solve that without understanding the theory of law of conservation of mass. Okay, meaning you have to do the balance of chemical reaction first before you can compute the mass to number of moles to number of grams, and then to other quantities as well also. Okay? To density, blah blah blah, so and so. Okay, muna siya mga palangga ha. Okay, so klaro na siya. Okay, law of conservation of matter, law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of mass. Okay, and law of multiple proportion, law of definite proportion. Like that, okay, like that, okay, you get the point, okay, muna sa, okay, mga palangga kong hipan, okay, now, time na ba? 3 minutes na nung, okay, mag-introduce ko niyo po ang guys, Isaac Newton. Who is Mr. Isaac Newton? He is really a scientist, right? A physicist. Oh my gosh. Nakakaloka. Diba? Okay. Who is smarter, Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton? Who is smarter between the two? Okay. The law of universe can be best interpreted by the Albert Einstein theory of relativity, right? The law that focuses to time and space, something like that, in the universe, outer space, something like that, the planets, the asteroids, the comets, the Proxima Centauri, meaning the sun, and the stars, like that. What else? A lot, right there. So it is by Albert Einstein, and then why the Earth comes in because of the Big Bang Theory billion years ago. So we will be thankful for the Big Bang Theory because without the Big Bang Theory, there will be no Earth existing in this universe. Something like that. That is through science. But through the religion, God created the universe. So it's another, it's another version. Something like that. But the version of science is through Big Bang Theory, the colliding of heavenly bodies. And after that, Big Bang Theory comes in 18 billion years ago. And then that's the time it was broken into different particles like that. Okay, and then the planets arrive. Okay, the planets arrive, the asteroids arrive, the sun arrive, and the sun is the center of the solar system. Ganon, in which there are orbits, the planets revolve and rotate around it. Something like that. Okay, so that is Albert Einstein, and then we have also the Johannes Kepler theory. Kasi si Johannes Kepler, sila ninduhan ni Albert Einstein sa sabot. Okay, but si Isaac Newton mo apil-apil sa siya ni Johannes Kepler because during the derivation of the chemical equation in the universe. Okay, you know the universe, guys. The universe is just like an elliptical orbit. Okay, in which our planets, revolve and rotate there, and then we will apply the law of, electrostatic forces. Electrostatic forces, katong mga centrifugal force, katong mga, oh my gosh. Okay, may force equal to the G1, G2 over the D squared, mga ganon, diba? Nakakaloka. Okay, then the distance covered, ganon, and the charge G1, G2, ganon, over D squared. Diba? Nagkaroon mga siya mo tato ng kampuan, may constant kung si Newton. Okay? So, tagaan na lang tabo ang Albert Einstein guys. Albert Einstein theory relativity is equals to E is equals to mc squared. Okay? C is the speed of light equal to 3 times 10 to the 8 meter per second. Okay? So, if somebody asks, who is Sotero? What is the speed of light? Of course, 3 times 10 to the 8 meter per second. Ganon. How fast is that? Okay? And then the mass of the object. And then you can compute for the energy. Directly from Albert Einstein theory of relativity through space and time in the universe. Okay. Now, Isaac Newton is the father of modern physics. Again, Isaac Newton is the father of modern physics. The father of modern chemistry is Mr. Antoine Lavoisier, but for the modern physics is Isaac Newton. So Isaac Newton has the 3 laws of motion. Okay? That is his main contribution to science, in which our students right now are studying all over the world if they take up physics. Okay, 3 laws of motion. Okay? Like that. The first law is based on my memorization 20 years ago. Law of inertia. Okay. Second is the law of acceleration. Okay. The third is the law of interaction. Okay, like that. And the best example of this is the free falling body. When Mr. Isaac is standing on the tree and the apple fall down to the ground. Oh, like that. And he estimated there must be an acceleration due to gravity, 9.81 meter per second squared, and then 32.2 feet per second squared in English unit. Okay, like that. In metric system is 9.81 meter per second squared. This is the basis how to compute the weight, the gravitational pull of the Earth, so that we can compute the weight. And ano na siya? Weight is equals to the mass times the acceleration due to gravity. So weight is equals to the mass times the acceleration due to gravity. Something like that. Okay? Now if you say mass, so kilogram. Gravity, meter per second squared. Now it will become the Newton. Okay? So Newton is the unit of weight. Okay, and the unit also of force if we mean force directed downward to the gravitational pull of the Earth, vertical, okay, not horizontal. In this situation, the weight will be equal to the force. Again, the weight will be equal to the force if the force involved or applied is directed downward through gravitational pull to the Earth's surface downward. So because we need to use the 9.81 meter per second squared, and the unit will be Newton. Okay, do not use grams, pound, like that. That is not weight. Okay, that is still mass. Okay, so mass in English unit is pound. Mass in metric system is gram or kilogram, something like that. But Newton is really special. Okay, Newton is also the weight. But sometimes weight and mass could be used if gravitational pull to the Earth is not an issue. Okay, you get the point. If it is not an issue, for example, if pushing only, pushing the object in an inclined surface, like that, what is the distance covered, with an angle of inclination of 32.3 degrees, 32 degrees, and then with a coefficient of fraction is 0.28, calculate the work done. Sotero pushed the object on an inclined surface with an angle of inclination of 30 degrees. The coefficient of fraction is 0.2. What is the work done produced by Sotero? Ang mga computation sa weight that doesn't involve the gravitational pull of the Earth. Gravity is not an issue. Something like that. Okay? Meaning horizontal or inclined surface, but not vertical. Okay? Down. Straight vertical is another story. When you drop and when you throw up the ball, it's another story compared to the horizontal. Okay? You get the point? Muna siya. Okay. Muna siya ang Newton. Okay. And then gawas mo siya sa board exam, guys. What is the Newton? What is the unit of energy in metric system in terms of grams and centimeter? So that is erg. Erg is a unit of an energy through grams and centimeter. Okay? Like that. Ito po yung mga palangga. Ano siya ang erg. Okay? And then the force here is the dyne. D-Y-N-E. Dyne. Equivalent to, this is grams. Okay? You get the point mga palangga? This is grams. Okay? Centimeter per second squared is the dyne. Is the unit of force in terms of grams and centimeter is a dyne. Okay. The unit of energy in terms of grams centimeter squared is the erg. Okay. So this come out during our time. It came out in the board examination. Okay. The erg. Okay, like that. Okay. So this is theory, right? Okay. So the law of inertia states that whenever the body will continue moving unless acted by a net force. Like that. If you push the object, it will just continue moving unless it is acted by a total net force, something like that. And then the law of acceleration, ito niya siya katong force is equals to mass times acceleration. Okay? Like that. Force is also the mass of acceleration. For every applied force with a given mass, you will obtain an acceleration. Something like that, okay? And then the law of interaction in every action, there must be equal and opposite direct reaction. Di ba mga palangga? Nabi ko siya mga palangga. Di ba? O, na. So, muna siya na itabo mga palangga. Okay? Wala. So, muna na siya. So, muna na siya guys. Kataas na ka akong vlog. It took me 40 minutes and 37. Matulog na ko. Charot! Okay? So, walang sana siya mga palangga, no? So, mga sayon-sayon na, no? Okay? And then, okay. But wait, I need to discuss also a little bit with the very important guys, because you know what I relate to you guys is more on the more on the board examination. In my discussion, I always like that in my experience in the board examination, and also when I joining different quiz bowls. Okay, like that. In my high school, something like this. Okay, and then so it's gonna be like this. Okay. So the atomic number is increasing from left to right, atomic number, and the mass number also will be increasing from left to right, and then the atomic number also will be increasing from top to bottom, and the mass number also is increasing from top to bottom. So therefore, we can conclude atomic number and mass number is directly proportional with each other. Okay? Like that. And then, what will happen to the boiling point? The boiling point will increase as you go down below on the group. So this is very important because the board examination will give a lot of element, and then you have to choose which of the following has a higher boiling point. Like that. And if you don't have an idea, okay, so you should understand that the more it will go down to the group, the more the boiling point is higher. Why? Because it increases the molecular weight, and it needs a lot of kinetic energy to break the molecules. So you need to hit that very well. Okay? So need extra higher temperature to do that. And then the boiling point will never reach as easy as you could, the same as the water. Okay? Because the water will boil in 100. Beyond that, something like that. You get the point? Because it's very difficult to boil immediately because the molecular weight is very high. So it's very difficult to decompose the components of a higher molecular weight elements. Okay, that's why. Okay, so tawag din okay, group 7A, fluorine 19, chlorine 35. We go down. The molecular atomic weight is increasing. Meaning to say, as it go down, the boiling point is increasing. So meaning to say, it takes a higher boiling point of iodine compared to fluorine. Okay, you get the point? Something like that. Okay, you get the point mo. Ano siya guys? Reactivity na siya. So, muna may tabo. Okay? Like that. So, lahat pag itong mga kuan guys, itong mga ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, electropositivity. So, imo sa siya i-link dito. Now, which of the following has a higher electronegativity? A, chromium, B, manganese, C, iron. Then if you don't have an idea for that, di makaka-answer. Okay? So you should memorize or understand really the relationship between atomic number, mass number, atomic radius, atomic weight, ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, like that, electropositivity. But take note, some instructors, based on what I experienced, will never discuss too much on electropositivism. They will discuss more on electronegativity, electronegative elements of the halide group. Okay? But there is also electropositive, guys. Electropositive are metals. They have charge positive, but our instructors will never say that term. Right? That's why in the board examination, we are not familiar with the term. And we will be shocked, what's this? Which of the following has a higher is more electropositive over the other? So meaning to say, you have an idea that's metal. And then the choices a lot of non-metal there. Of course, you have to choose the metal. Now, if the choices are all metals, then you have to look for the atomic number, mass number, like that. Okay? And the most difficult is the atomic radii. The relationship of atomic radius. How can you compute the atomic radius of this? Like this, okay? Nakakaloka, di ba? So the only, before I only memorized that one because I cannot see also in the, when I buy the periodic table in the store, there's no also radius discussed there. Only the mass number, the charge, the valence electrons in the outermost shell, something like that, the group, the family, ganon, chupa-chuchu. But the sometimes have, but sometimes no. Okay? Then in Chemical Engineer's Handbook I think so have, atomic radii. Radii is the plural of radius. Meaning to say, radii is the same as diameter. Okay? So diameter is equal to 2 times radius, right? So radius plus radius. So meaning to say, this is also the definition of diameter. Just like fungi. Fungi is the plural of fungos. Radii is the plural of radius. You get the point? May anak siya, guys. Okay? Okay. Di mag-English nagkadiyot, guys. Ganan kayo ko English. Okay. Ato lang ipasok ang English. Okay. So, like this. Collective noun. Uy, Sir Sotero, bakit nag-English ka? I want to share lang talaga because this is my error before and I want to share it to you. Okay, so for example, we have equipment. Equipment has no plural. Okay, equipment is singular and plural the same. Even though you refer to how many equipment, you'll never use equipments. That's wrong grammar. It's not existing in the dictionary. Okay, so equipment is already plural. Okay, it depends on the sentence you use. For example, I have 5 equipment in our plant. You will never say 5 equipments because there's no term equipments in the dictionary because equipment is also a plural at the same time it's also singular. 1. Okay? 1 equipment. Okay. 2. Ganon. 2 is base. Nakakaloka. Lagi base. Okay. Base. Bases. Okay, basis. B-A-S-I-S. So this, when you talk about this, this is my basis. Okay, basis pala guys is singular. Okay, B-A-S-I-S singular. The plural is B-A-S-E-S. Just like acids and bases. You get the point? So if I will say, my basis in my, in choosing a good candidate is intelligence. Basis is there is B-A-S-I-E-S, not B. But if I will say the basis of the candidate I'll choose is humanity, sincerity, you will use the term B-A-S-E-S. Okay? The plural of basis I is E. Okay. Number 3, analysis. Okay. Analysis is a singular term if I. If E, plural. Okay, analysis. Okay. So you will never use analysis if you have so many analysis in your scientific research. So it will be a wrong grammar. Okay, you get the point. Though it's understandable, but for higher intellectual level, it looks like off to higher, you know what I mean, for a professionalism approach. But for the ordinary thinking, it's okay. Okay, in the generalization. But if you are dealing also with your audience will be lawyers, engineers, doctors, scientists, or your audience have PhDs or masters, then you will never do that because it's embarrassing. Okay? You get the point? Oh, klaro siya ha. Oh, number 4. Then this is very common also in TikTok. So a lot of people saying this, my criteria is like this, but he only state 1. Okay, criteria is plural. Okay, meaning your basis also. Okay, or your like the criteria is plural. Criterion is singular. Okay, if you say my only criterion in choosing a good singer is the voice quality, so use criterion, not criteria, because criteria is plural. You get the point? So I corrected already some of the TikTokers on the grammar in a professional approach. because they keep on using like that. Okay? So, criterion and criteria. And the rest will follow, guys. Fungi, fungus, alumnus, alumni, like that. Alumna, alumnus, alumni, like that. Okay? So, use that correctly in a sentence because it will vary also. Collective. Collective noun meaning by numbers. Okay? And then also the prepositions, ha? Preposition is very important in science also, guys. Ha? Mausap bago na itong mga values. Passive, by, on, in, okay, like that. Okay, with, okay, like that. From, to, for, okay, like this. And conjunction, okay. Conjunction, fast, hence, consequently, okay. Consequently, nevertheless, nonetheless, like this. Okay, nonetheless, like this. These are conjunctions. And then but, and, like that. So these are conjunctions. The other one is prepositions talking of the locations or directions. But here is only connecting the sentence. Like this. Fast, it is very good to the people. Like that. Hence, it will cause accident. Consequently, meaning as a result, like that. Okay, like that. Then, nevertheless, nonetheless, yung gano'n mga siya importante nyo siya guys ha. Okay, and then the punctuation marks. What are those? The comma, the apostrophe, the period, the parenthesis, and the closing marks. Closing marks. Exclamation marks also. Exclamation. Like this. Question mark. Comma. Like that. Apostrophe. Apostrophe use ownership. For example, Sotero's notebook. So I have to put apostrophe after my name, last letter. Okay? That is possessive noun, meaning ownership. Okay? Things like this we should remember, especially if you are working in the journalism and in the mass communication world and broadcasting, something like that. Or in the, in, what do you call this one? Generation and propagation and releasing of reference materials, books, encyclopedias, like that, magazines, reference materials used in learning. Very important. Trainings, like that, okay, educational purposes. Okay, especially ang mga books, ganon. Okay, like that. And then, when to use, okay. Guys, when to use also the slash like this. This is also punctuation mark, slash, like this, or the dash. Ganon. Okay, like this. A 2-day affair of training, like that. 2-day meaning 2-day dash day. If you put dash, the day is singular already because there's a dash. Okay, then number will be attached, not the word. Okay, for example, the caption in your article: 2-day trainings in University of St. Carlos. You will say like this: 2-day affair. You will never say 2 days because you use numbers connect to the words. If this is word 2, TWO, 2 days affair. But if that is not a word 2 you attach with a dash, that is 2-day only. 2-day affair, 3-day affair, 4-day affair. So you will never use days if you put dash. Okay, that's rule in English also when you write. Okay, but when you speak, it's no problem. Okay, like 2 days affair, 3 days affair. But if you put that in an article, okay, you put dash, you put the number and the day. 3 dash day only, like this. 4 dash day, not days. It will be wrong grammar. Okay, especially in the captioning and the title of your article. Okay, I'm sharing you. I've been in journalism also when I was in high school and in my college, and I'm one of the editors of our school publication papers since high school and college. And not to be arrogant, I'm also joining competitions in writing. Okay, easy writing, editorial writing, slogan making contest, and not only that, also verbal oratorical contest. declination, like that. So name it. I am very, very active in that kind of competition because I love English that much. Okay? More than chemistry and science. Something like that. Okay? So it's gonna be like that. So, okay, mga sinahintabo guys sa mga, kailangan mo siya na-request na ako nga, Sotero vlog ko ng English, charot. Oh, this is now. May pinagbigyan kita. Okay, and then I'm telling to them, oh my gosh, I'm not taking up Bachelor of Science in English, majoring in English. Though I love English so much, my course is not English. I'm just only through, developing that and reading, writing, and my experience also like that. Okay, so my only purpose, guys, is only to encourage you that you can make it also if you love really English. Okay, and then of course in our curriculum nowadays, there's a lot of journalism competitions because journalism is also a subject in the curriculum and education. There's a lot of competitions, guys, really super funny, super enjoyable like that. Okay, and then if you try your very, very best, then who knows, you'll become the best, you'll become the journalist of the in your school, okay, like that, when you graduate. Journalist of the Year goes to ganon. Okay, so that is also one of my awards, Journalist of the Year when I was in high school. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, like that. I could not remember if I am the best in Filipino. I could not remember, really. But I can remember I have 5 medals and 5 awards when I was in high school. Really. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for... I'm not arrogant, I'm telling the truth because I want to inspire students in front of me right now, to motivate you guys that you can really make it more than me, something like that. Okay, and we are tiguang na me. I must share to you also that it's gonna be like this. You should be also going to have a healthy competition or to be competitive, to have good grades like that, so that your transcript will be good, and then most employers will appreciate if your transcript is impressive, something like that. And then apart from your communication skills when you answer the interviews, something like that, it doesn't match, you're very good in speaking and communication ability, but your grades are not high or not above average, so how can you do that? And you explain too much. So it's very good that it matches. Okay, you are having a good verbal communication, you have a good answers during the interviews, and then your TOR also, your curriculum vitae is good. Academic grades are good, right? So it could create confusion to the interviewers. Oh my gosh, you have a lot of trainings, but you're not able to show and explain to us what's this all about. So many trainings, but when asked by one question, like that, he cannot relate. Something like so. That means it could either be falsified or fabricated, or you know what I mean. Okay, something like that, or they're just passed because they paid money. Something like it should be quality. Okay, something like that. If you have so many trainings, then prove it based on your credentials. Something like that. Okay, so it radiates, it echoes in actual. Really, okay, you cannot deny it. Something like that. You get the point, mga palangga? Okay, that's a lesson to everybody that we don't need to falsify and fabricate documents because it will echo and radiates our actual performance during writing reports, the way how we answer the interview, the way how we communicate to the public in our speeches or statements or whatever, in our comments in the social media, our views, opinions, ideologies, like that. Ideologies, right? And philosophies in life. Okay, thank you so much. You can share and you can also comment if you want to, and then you can subscribe my YT channel if you want. Of course, if you're not subscribing my YT channel. And I will be happy if you are going to, really subscribe my YT channel, okay? And click the bell notification for some news updates. I am a singer channel, but sorry guys, I don't want to vlog politics really. Okay, because it creates arguments, hatred, hated speech, like that. I don't want to do that. But I have so many posts regarding politics in my FB page. You can go there. And I have also so many singing moments and musical segments in Facebook, a lot also. And also my uploaded videos in YT channel, you can also check that out there. Okay? And then the other YT channel of mine is purely on singing talaga siya, but it was not monetized. Okay, because I cannot monetize if I will sing because I use the content of the uploader of the karaoke. You know the point? So I can be monetized only if I will do my own instrument and sing while using the guitar and piano like that. And I have no accompaniment. I'm only one. I'm a vocalist. I'm not an instrumentalist. Something like that, okay? Before I attempt to study guitar and piano, but it changes my mind. That's why I'm very, very old now. I'm not really knowing that kind of, to be an instrumentalist. Oh my gosh, only vocalist, my guys. Mga kapatid, mga palangga. Okay, bye-bye na. See you later for tomorrow's vlog. Okay guys, I'm very, very happy that, I'm maintaining my weight. Charot. Nakakaloka. Guys, basta mukhaan ka ko ka ng puan, mga sweet, dali kay kumutambok, and then, mukhaan ko ka ng mga meat, like that, mutambok din ko gamay, like that, no, so, I'm still struggling to maintain my weight, mga kapatid. Okay, like that, and it's very good, really. Okay, thank you so much. And then, your cholesterol level is okay, something like that. You don't have issues in blood pressures, sugar contents, like that. Bilirubin and creatinine. Wow! Bilirubin, Sir Sotero. Yes! Sa atong gallbladder, sa atong kidney. O, diba? Sa liver. O, diba? Okay, mga ganun siya. Bye-bye, God bless everybody. There's a lot to be shared to you, but the time will not be enough to discuss to you guys. Kasi kabawan mo sa akong baba. Usarin luwas sa akong baba, right? Okay, thank you so much for watching my live streaming. See you tomorrow for another topics. And then we're gonna be solve examples for redox. Okay, reduction and oxidation in general chemistry lecture. So we need to review a lot, guys, regarding the oxidation state, oxidation number, like chuchu. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. God bless everybody. Bibim Sarah.